11.1 Distant, Midpoint, and Circle. So the first four sections of chapter 11 mainly is remembering the formulas and then apply those formulas to get center, vertex, and use them to graph it. Okay. So the first formula that we're going to look at in here is the distance formula. So the distance formula is basically any 2 points on the rectangular coordinate system. You will be able to find out the distance between these 2 points by using the formula. The distance is equal to the differences in x square plus the differences in y square. Okay? And the midpoint is basically if you use those 2 points as a endpoint of a line segment, you can find out the midpoints by using this formula, which is the average of x and then the average of y. And remember, midpoint formula itself is in a order pair format, so you need to remember to write the midpoints in order pairs. So let's take a look at on the first example. Uh-oh. The first example is said that find a line segment with the endpoints 6, 1, 2, negative 2. So we have two endpoints of a line segment. Now we want to find out the length of the segment, which is basically talking about the distance between these 2 points. So it doesn't really matter which one you say x1 and y1 as long as you're consistent. So I can say that the first one will be x1 and y1. So now to find out the length, I basically use the distance formula. Square root of distance is equal to square root of x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. That is equal to square root of, when I plug it in, my x2 will be 2 minus x1 is 6 square plus y2 will be negative 2 minus 1 square. Simplifying this, that will give me negative 4 square plus negative 3 square, which is equal to square root of 16 plus 9. That is square root of 25, which my final answer will be 5. Sometimes you may not be getting a good number like this, so you're going to have to simplify with radical expressions. Next is finding out, asking you to find the midpoint of it. So the formula of the midpoint is basically the average is in x, that means x sub 1 plus x sub 2 divided by 2, and then y sub 1 plus y sub 2 divided by 2. So that is 6 plus 2 divided by 2, comma, 1 plus negative 2 divided by 2. So I got 8 divided by 2 is 4, and the other one will be negative 1/2. So this will be the midpoints of these two line segments. The next formula that we're going to look at is the circle. The standard form of a circle is given to you this x minus h square plus y minus k square equal to r square. So the h and k are basically the center of the circle, and then r is the radius. So the first example is tells you write the standard form of a circle with the radius and then center. So I know that my radius is r, my center is h and what? K. So writing the formula first, that will be x minus h square plus y minus k square equal to r square. Plug it in. So x minus 2, my h is 2 square, plus y minus my k is negative 4 square equal to 7 square. So simplifying this will give me x minus 2 square plus y plus 4 square equal to 49, and that will be my standard form. if we have a standard form, we should be able to find out what is the center and then radius and then use them to graph it. So the next example is asking you to find the center and the radius. So in this case, my center will be x coordinate is -3 and my y coordinate is -4. Because when you see that this y plus 4 square, I have to rewrite it as y minus a -4 square, because remember it's y minus k squared in the formula. So that's how I got -4. So in a short, you can always think about the opposite part. So now that I know my center, my radius is basically the r. This value 4 is basically r squared. So my r will be 2. So radius will be 2 in this case. So now I can basically use this center and then radius to graph it. So first, plug my center in, 3, -4, which is right here. And then after that, what you do is basically count the radius up 2 units, down 2 units, left and right 2 units each to get the radius. So right here is the point, right here is the point, right here is the point, right here is the point. And then with that, I will be able to graph a circle through those points. So that's how easy it is. Right? So let's continue on the next one. 3x squared plus 3y squared equal to 27. So 3x squared, and remember in this formula, I cannot have any coefficient in terms of x and y. So I divide both sides by 3, so that will be x squared plus y squared is equal to 9. So what is my center then? You can look at it as x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equal to 3 squared. So that will help you to see that whenever you see x squared and y squared, and the x coordinate of the center will be 0, y coordinate of the center will be 0. So in this case, my center is at origin, which is 0, 0, and my radius is equal to what? 3. So therefore, I will be able to graph this easily. So my center at radius, center as 0, 0, and radius is 3, so 3 point to the right, left, up, and down. So that will help me to get my circle, which passing through all of those points with the radius 3. Next, so not necessarily all the time you will get a good situations like in previous example. So you will get a general formula, general equations of the circle. Okay? This is the general equations. So everything on one side equal to 0. So in this kind of situation, what we need to do is we need to complete the square so that I can get it into the format, the standard format. Okay? So I have x squared plus y squared minus 2x minus 3 equal to 0. So x squared, I have x term, so I'm gonna be rewriting, regrouping. So x squared minus 2x, and then we need to complete the square, so it will be plus y squared equal to add 3 to both sides. Now you can see that I have y squared only. I don't have any y terms. That means what? I don't need to complete the square for the y part. So to complete the square for x part, I need to add a number. So remember we talked about completing the square methods when we solve the quadratic formula. So how do we complete the square? That's basically b divided by 2 and square it. That will help you to see the number. Since we want to complete the square for x part, then my b will be -2 for x divided by 2. So it will be -1 square, which is 1. So now I know which number to add to both sides to complete the square for x part. I need to add 1 to it. I need to add 1 to it. So finally, this will help me to get my answer, which is x minus 1 squared, my standard form, and plus y squared equal to 4. That allows me to see that my center is 1 for x and then 0 for y. And then my radius, it will be 4 is basically 2 squared, so it'll be 2. Okay. So now using those to graph it, which is my center is 1, 0, which is right here. And then my radius is 2, so I'm going to go up 2 units and then go down 2 units, to the left 2 units and right 2 units. And then if I connect all of those points, that gives me the circle that we want. Finally, the last example, which in this case, similarly, this is in general format. So I'm going to have to complete the square to get my standard form. So it will be x squared plus y squared minus 6x minus xy plus 9 equal to 0. So first I'm going to regroup all the x part. So it will be x squared minus 6x plus y squared minus 8y, and then subtracting 9 to both sides. Now we're going to try to complete the square for x part and then also complete the square for the y part. So when we're completing the square for the x part, I'm going to be using b divided by 2 and square it, right? So this is my x part. So my b in this case is negative 6 divided by 2 squares, which is negative 3 square. That gives me 9. So I'm going to be adding 9 to get a complete perfect square trinomial, right? Completing the square for the x part. And remember to add 9 to the other side also. Now I'm going to try to complete the square for the y part, right? So again, the same thing, b divided by 2 and square it for the y part, which is going to be, in this case, my b is negative 8 divided by 2 and square, which is negative 4 square. That will give me 16. So to get a perfect square trinomial, I'm going to add 16 for my y part. And then make sure you add it to both sides. Now, because of these are perfect square trinomial, when I write it down as in factor exponential form, that will be x minus 3 square plus y minus 4 square equal to 16. So this helped me to see that my center is at 3 and 4, and my radius, which is 16 square, is 4 square, so my radius will be 4. Now I can use this center and a radius to graph it, which is my center will be 3, 4 right here. And I'm going to be graphing 4 unit up the point, 4 unit down. That's on my radius, right? 4 unit to the right and then 4 unit to the left. So now if I draw all of those point connected, that will be my circle. And this ends this section.